ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here today to present to you on behalf of Lake Resources. Now, before we start, a little bit of housekeeping. If you could just, at your leisure, read the disclaimer, as we will be making forward-looking statements in this presentation. Lake's view on demand for high-purity lithium is that supply and demand will not be in steady state until 2040. At that time, compound annual growth rates will be about 9%. On the growth, the demand for batteries will increase tenfold from 2022 to 2040. On the supply side, DLE and direct lithium products will help the scalability of projects in the future. Timing of projects at present is becoming quite unpredictable as more and more projects are moving to the right on the timeline. Projects take between 5 to 10 years to build, with frequent delays and the tightening of a labour market at present. I'll talk a little bit about the Lake story now. Lake is a 6-year startup. We have offices in Houston and Buenos Aires in Argentina, and we are listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. It's been a few years now since we have completed our pre-feasibility study on 25,000 tonnes per annum. Since that time, the demand for high-quality products has increased significantly. We realised then that we have a large resource, the huge demand, and the ability to go from 25,000 tonnes to 50,000 tonnes, of which the economics on that are quite attractive. As I spoke about, we have a large resource of brines at the Kachi project, of which we still don't have a definitive size, and further drilling will be required. At present, the management team, which is quite new, are reviewing the execution plan to ensure the success of the project going forward. The DLE, and more specifically ion exchange, which we will be using on site, the process uses significantly less water than the conventional process of evaporation. Not only because we will re-inject the brine back into the reservoir, but the small amount of water that'll be used in the process itself. Every successful project needs world-class partners, which I will talk about in a slide a little bit further on. We have increased our management team significantly over the past 6 months, and we have focused on areas such as construction, processing, drilling, people, and our investor relations, which are all important to moving this Kachi project into production. We've also not only looked at our management team, but also our board. We have put 3 new directors onto our board to strengthen us in the transition from exploration and valuation through to a developer, but also there to strengthen our governance and oversight. As you can see on this diagram on the left-hand side, we operate in what is called the lithium triangle, where you have Bolivia to the north, Chile to the west, and then Argentina on the east of that slide. Lake has a vast area under leasehold in this lithium triangle, and we are more specifically situated where other companies are already in operation. Now, the large blue dot, the upper of the two, that is where we have our 3 projects, Calchari, Olaroz, and Paso, and we are continuing further evaluation of those projects. They are based in the Jujuy province. The dot at the bottom is our flagship project, Kachi. I'll talk a little bit now about the Kachi project. We have recently released an updated JORC statement, doubling our measured and indicated from 1 to 2.2 million tonnes of lithium carbonate equivalent. As I spoke about earlier, further drilling will need to be completed to fully understand the size of this resource. Our technology partner Lilac have been successful in operating a demonstration plant on site since September last year. It has run for well over 1,000 hours, and at the end of December last year, have produced 40,000 litres of lithium chloride, of which is actually here in Canada at Saltworks, being processed from lithium chloride through to lithium carbonate. The results of which we hope to get at the end of this month, if not early April. The new management team that I spoke about is currently reviewing the execution plan, the capital costs, and timing to first lithium. This slide is a flow diagram of actually what will happen on site when the project is built. With the ion exchange technology, the process of brine to lithium carbonate becomes faster, scalable, better recoveries, and more sustainable. Faster, 3 hours from when the brine comes into the ion exchange modules to when we have lithium chloride. Scalable by the very design of the ion exchange into a modular format aids in the scalability of the project. Recoveries, in all testing that we've completed so far with the pilot plant in Oakland in California, where Lilac are situated, to the demonstration plant on site, consistently over 80% recoveries. And this will aid us in maximising the value of the resource. Sustainable, low water usage in the production process, as well as the re-injection of brines back into the reservoir. On this slide here, the photo on the left actually doesn't do justice to the actual size of the salar. To the right there, it continues for kilometres and kilometres. The road in the foreground, that is the freeway, the motorway that passes the project, and that dirt road that you can see going off to the right is where we currently have the demonstration plant. As vast as this area is, Lake is very cognizant that it needs to keep its footprint small. The current process plant will be 500 metres by 800 metres, replacing 30 square kilometres of evaporation ponds. Brine re-injection back into the reservoir, ensuring no change to the water table and, more significantly, to the freshwater table that sits on top. Local communities are already benefiting from Lake being in the area via employment and training, especially in the areas of small business operation. As I spoke about earlier, every project needs world-class partners. We've talked about Lilac and their ion exchange. Now, Lilac have the ability to earn 25% of the Kachi project. At present, they're sitting at 10%, and they have the ability to earn a further 10% at the successful completion of the demonstration plant. Post that, they have the ability to earn an extra 5% based on the purity of the product produced. Project financing, we have expressions of interest from United Kingdom Export Credit Agency and their Canadian counterpart EDC on funding up to 70% of the project. This will come under standard project conditions with due diligence being completed on the feasibility study, the environmental impact assessment, and the off-taker. Talking about off-takers, we have the two there with SK On and WMC Energy. They both will take 25,000 tonnes per annum of the project, as well as looking to take a strategic investment in Lake Resources, being 10% each. During 2023, we have some milestones that we are looking at. First and foremost is the results of this test work that is at Saltworks here in Canada. Following that, in the second quarter, we'll be doing a project update to tell you where we are at this particular point in time, followed by the completion of the feasibility study in the middle of the year. Soon after that, we will have completed our environmental impact assessment, and that will be lodged with the Catamarcan government. Open to questions.